Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, today's video, I'm going to be looking at the Bitcoin chart, tell you what I see, what I think could be on the horizon here. I also, in the second half of this video, I'm going to be talking about the various market forces that are kind of pushing us up as well as holding us back. Why are we in this sideways market and how can we get through this, right? So that's going to be the second half focus of this video. The first half we'll be looking at the chart. I'll be looking at those EMAs like I always do, looking at the market cipher, kind of telling you what I see and just letting you know on where I think is heading from here. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it going. All right, so I wanted to do this video since I haven't done an update on the Bitcoin chart in roughly about a week and a half or so. Today is March 8th, 2022. Wanted to show you all what I see here in the chart. And then once we're done talking about the chart here, I want to wrap up this video later with some thoughts on kind of what is going on in these global markets today. What are the forces that are propelling what's, going against it, all that stuff, all right? So first of all, looking at the Bitcoin chart, it's kind of trading sideways still. It's trending up a little bit, and I'm going to zoom in on this in a minute, but I want to just kind of go through the whole thing first. Looking at the volume again, we still just don't have any volume here. Look at this. You can see it. The volume is really low. It's just not anything to write home about at the moment, volume wise. Okay. Now, what's a positive development? The RSI definitely looks like this could be positive. So, being that it's been trending down, could it trend down a little bit more and touch on this trend line right here? Yeah, it could. And could we then have a good couple of days after that? Absolutely, we could. Right. Looking at the market cipher, so we've still had this red outflow of money from Bitcoin. Now, it looks to me like this is lessening. Now, I thought this was going to end already, and then every time it looks like it's right about to end, then it dips again, right? It's just kind of this sideways pattern that we've been in. And really what that is indicative of is an overall lack of volume, all right? So even though we had this red dot up here, you can see that's where the RSI peaked and it's been dropping ever since. So I would expect when this turns around, we'll get a green dot here on the market cipher. And then, once we actually start to get some green wave, the green money inflow, that's when you know that the market's back on and we've entered a new pattern. But we've been in this same sort of downward trend here since the end of last year. So roughly at least 4 months we've been in this already. It seems just kind of never ending. I think a lot of us thought, with COVID kind of leveling off, that things could return to normal, and then obviously that's not the case. So let me go ahead and zoom in on this top one here, and we can look at this a little closely. So one of the big things I always look at these EMAs, the moving averages, right? So you can see going back to, what is this? Even all the way back here, let's say August to July of 2020, the EMAs were bullish, and they were bullish for a long time. Look at how bullish they were here as compared to right now, right? Right now, they're not bullish at all. They're actually bearish. So we're currently in a bearish trend. So we should always have the 200-day on the bottom, the 50-day in the middle, and the 20-day on top. And when those reverse, that tells us the chart is overall bearish, right? So we had a span going here, roughly almost a 2-year span of straight up bullish chart, which was absolutely awesome. And with that, look at the volume that was in here. Tons and tons of volume in Bitcoin, lots of volume pushing this thing upward, right? And since that time, we've kind of leveled off, gone down, gone up, gone down, gone up, gone down, 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 down. We're trying to get out of it now. And I've circled this a couple of times now, this area right here, these two EMAs, right? The 20-day and the 50-day. I am waiting still for the 20-day to cross the 50-day. We've kind of teased it right here, didn't happen, we went down. We teased it again right here, hasn't happened. It's kind of like, we're going down a little bit more, right? Again, it is this lack of volume. We're just not getting anything positive enough to push the chart either direction. There's not enough here to push it positive or negative. It's just not there, right? So what I am hoping for here in this chart, and what I hope will turn this a little bit, is I do think the RSI is set for a rebound here shortly. So in this current state where we're dipping, could we ultimately tap this trend line again? Sure, we could. But I would expect a nice rebound from there. I do think that this is going to go bullish here at some point in time. There's just, we're just kind of like waiting. And, it's almost like we're a little gun shy to go, well, can we be bullish yet? Right. And I think that's what the chart is showing us. Should the Bitcoin chart be correlated with the S&P 500? No, it has nothing to do with it, right? It's completely separate. But is it pretty tightly correlated? Well, yeah, it has been, right? And so if global markets are disrupted, then it looks like the crypto market is somewhat disrupted. And, maybe that has a lot to do with, look who's investing in crypto now, right? The market has gotten much bigger than it was in the last cycle. Last cycle, it was a select group of investors. This cycle, it's much more broad. And so the broader it gets, the more world forces will weigh on it in that market, right? So I think the bottom line here for the current Bitcoin chart, and by the way, I took a look at this on CoinMarketCap. Currently, there's like somewhere around 41 million hodlers of Bitcoin. That's a ton, truckload. Bitcoin as of today was 42% market dominance. And, really, if the market is going to move at all with all the Bitcoin pairs, Bitcoin has to move. If Bitcoin doesn't move, the market's just not going to move. So what I think could happen, I'm keeping a close eye on this little trend line right here to see if indeed we touched again, if we bounce up from there. It's possible, we could have a bit of a flag forming here, and then hopefully we break out. It looks like that might be the case. Like maybe we've got, the top of the flag here, we got the bottom there. Maybe we get somewhere right around here and then we pop. So maybe let's say mid-April we pop. But I do think we're due for that. Now, in the second half of this video, I want to kind of talk about these market forces, these global forces, what's propelling us and what's holding us back. And if we can get some of these things to ease up, to work out, then I think the market comes back really strong, because the market's been waiting to be strong. But with so much weighing on it, it just hasn't happened yet. So I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes, and we'll talk about that on market and global forces and what that means to the Bitcoin chart. All right. Here at the Keeping It Real Finance channel, we need your support. All of the content on this channel is entirely organic, meaning we did the video on a topic that we simply like, or we did it because of a request from one of you, our viewers. So that being said, if you enjoyed today's video and would like to support the channel, there are multiple ways you can do that to help us to continue to create and level up our content. Our affiliate links will be available in the video description to cover platforms we endorse and use ourselves. Support the channel today and earn sign-up bonuses along the way. We also have a merch shop available with links below the video or directly by visiting KIRfinance.myspreadshop.com, where we offer tons of great designs and product options. We've got everyone in the family covered. Help support us by picking up merch and sharing your photo on social media. We may even send you an NFT. Speaking of NFTs, at OpenSea.io, we have our NFT series, The Liberty or Death Crossroads, available now. Pick one up today and enjoy special upcoming perks and exclusive content with our planned upcoming courses, Patreon, and Discord group. If you're a reader and simply looking to step up your game in personal finance, I also wrote a book in 2015 titled Driving Through Potholes, Financial Strategy and Life Lessons for Those Looking to Rediscover the American Dream. The book is available now at Amazon in Kindle and paperback. And lastly, if you'd simply like one-on-one consulting, feel free to reach out anytime at keepingitrealsince1982@gmail.com. We greatly appreciate your support today, and now let's get back to the video. So at the time of the recording of this video, President Biden here in the U.S. is about to announce the ban of Russian oil to the U.S. For anybody who's not in the U.S., the gas prices here in the U.S. have just been exploding over the last roughly, I'd say, week and a half or so, 2 weeks. They had been trending up well before that, but really over the last week to week and a half, 2 weeks, they have just blown up bigger than anyone I think has projected or seen in ever. Okay, so they're the highest they've ever been. And we are on the verge now of banning Russian oil. So all of that is very, very disruptive to global markets, right? So what I was talking about in the chart portion of the video, Bitcoin is, and cryptocurrency in general, as time goes on, is becoming more and more correlated to the S&P 500, to the daily markets. And I think the reason why is because of the investors in crypto are a little broader. It's a little more everyday people. It's not a select group, right? And you got to think when it comes to investment. Well, people invest for a few different reasons. They invest to, build wealth. They invest to protect money, right? Protect their investment, protect their net worth. There's different reasons for investment. And the thing is, investment usually comes when you have money available, okay? Well, that could be part of what's holding us back right now, is the money that's available is getting pulled back more and more and more with all of these market disruptions. So first we went through, the two to 3 years of the COVID whole crisis, with the pandemic, all the supply chain issues. Prices have gone up substantially, at least where I'm at. The grocery store has gone way up. My property taxes are going up. Even the school board's trying to get their tax hikes in, right? Everybody's trying to raise the price of everything, right? Along with that, wages have only risen for some people. So I think wages overall appear to have risen for a lot of the lower income workers, which is a great thing, right? But most of the middle class has not seen wages rise at all. So because of that, all of our costs are going up. Now, I personally own our house. I own 2 other houses on top of it. My property taxes keep going up, up, up. My homeowner's insurance, my rental insurance keeps going up, 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 big time. All of my costs, everywhere I look, are going up. And so when the average everyday person has their costs constantly going up, how are they then supposed to have extra money? We all want the same things, right? Everybody wants to get ahead, to be able to do what they want when they want. Everybody wants to live without struggle, to be able to provide for their family, to have fun with their friends, all these things. And if you just don't have that basic leftover money to do that, then how do we get anywhere, right? And I think that's indicative, especially in the Bitcoin chart. So you've got a chart that basically is just kind of moving sideways. So it's kind of like, yeah, people are getting some money and they're buying it here, buying it there. But is there a lot of money available to go into it? No, there really hasn't been. Something else major here in the U.S. is inflation. Inflation is the highest it's been in 40 years, okay? I am 39 years old, so it hasn't been this high since I was born. And that was a long time ago, okay? So inflation is absolutely crazy right now, 7.5%. And I don't really talk about it a lot on this channel, but that inflation number is just insane. That's not sustainable. Anyone right now who is sitting on large cash accounts, whether it be retirement accounts, savings accounts, etc., we're losing significant buying power, all right? And I say we because I have some pretty large retirement accounts that they're going to be worth nothing by the time I can actually access them. Kills me, right? But the way the rules are written, you can't just take that money out, okay? So I think there's a lot of factors that are weighing on the global market, and that's why it just hasn't popped yet. So, you look at crypto, you look at Bitcoin, and it seems like it kind of like it wants to go. It wants to have that cycle. It wants to, repeat the prior cycles. You can kind of feel that bubbling up in the chart. That's what the chart tells me. It looks like it wants to go. It's just that the global factors are weighing on it. COVID weighed on it. The supply chains weighed on it. Inflation is weighing on it. Now we have gas prices that are going to be absolutely crazy weighing on it. All of these different factors weigh on it. The war in Ukraine is weighing on everything. When I first heard about it, obviously it's a travesty on a human rights level, etc. I've been glued to it nightly. I've always been a big World War II buff, in terms of what happened and how it happened and what we could have done and things like that. I'm looking at this one the same way, but right when it seemed like the world was starting to turn the page from the pandemic, then obviously, Putin had to disrupt the entire planet. So our supply chains are messed up. We have a huge energy crisis in terms of, how the world works. Europe has an energy crisis for natural gas. What the war has shown more than anything is that you really can't just be a rogue actor and invade another country and think it's going to happen without consequence. The global marketplace is so connected that everybody's buying little bits and pieces all over the place, right? And when you suddenly say, well, we're turning you off, that disrupts the whole planet. So the whole planet is disrupted right now, on top of, all the just humanitarian sides of that, which are just awful, okay? So what could be happening around the corner is potentially a big-time rebound. I personally think that the planet, the crypto, the stock market, all the markets are waiting for good news. We need something to latch onto, something to make us feel good, right? We need to have some bullish news. And I think that an end to the war could be really bullish for the market. Personally, whatever anyone's views are on it, it seems like it's all stemming from one person. And if that one person wasn't there anymore, could things come back to normal? Maybe, okay? Maybe. Maybe not, but maybe, all right? If that one person was gone, could the whole planet rebound? Maybe. On the flip side of that, if they just keep continuing this invasion day after day after day after day, it's just going to drag I think the entire world market into a recession, okay? So I'm really hoping that's not the case. In terms of cryptocurrency and in terms of real estate, I posted about this just the other day that the two of those are really inflation proof, okay? Cryptocurrency, you can hold your net worth, your value in there, and you can maintain it. That's true. You can also do the same thing with real estate. A good example of this is somewhere like the state of California. You see these houses now that are just, bombed out wreck, and they want like $500,000 for it. Well, the person who originally bought it 40 years ago paid like, $30,000. So really what's happened is it is inflated over time with inflation, right? But that person who bought it, their cost was fixed when they bought it originally. So if you're putting your money into something like real estate, you are then maintaining your wealth. So the downside about real estate is that your money is no longer liquid when you need it, right? It's not liquid. But the good side is that it's a really good hedge against inflation, is putting your money into real estate, because your cost is fixed. And over time, as your rents go up, if it's a rental property, as your property appreciates, you have more and more value there. So that's really positive. So overall, as a whole, we have just so many different market factors that are weighing on global markets. And it's really amazing that they haven't tanked further, to be honest. But, maybe what's also supporting them is the interconnectedness of the planet, right? Everybody kind of relies on multiple other countries for different things. We all do, okay? So maybe that fabric is still what's holding us together, even though, this invasion is disrupting it significantly and disrupting global trade and everything all around it. So the bottom line here, what I am hoping for is I am hoping that we have a resolution to this crisis sooner rather than later, and hopefully the world can have some stability finally. As I mentioned in a tweet that I posted today, and I've talked about recently on this channel, I have a daily commute that is hectic every day. Every day it's hectic. Yesterday was the first time I saw somebody pull over their vehicle in Monday morning rush hour and go to the back of the hatch and take out an assault rifle. That is a new one. That's a turning point, okay? And I think the stressors on people like that individual are only going to get worse. So it is a chaotic time. Protect yourselves, protect your families, protect your friends, protect your pets, your loved ones, whoever. Protect your investments. You really need to be looking out for whatever is inside your umbrella right now. You need to be very protective. This is not the time to be frivolous with anything whatsoever. So that being said, on a market perspective for crypto, it's a sideways market. This is a time to be stacking for sure. Sideways and bear markets is when you want to stack. This is when everybody made all their gains, in the past from Bitcoin. They did it in the sideways and the bear markets. That's when they bought. Later it goes way up. That's when you can realize gains if you want, or you can just continue to hold long term. Remember, you only lose if you realize a loss, right? Meaning you sell. So if you don't sell, you're not really losing anything unless the project is a rug pull, which hopefully it isn't, because you've done your homework because you're watching this channel, right? So that being said, that's it for today's video. I want to be bullish. Even in the face of all this bearishness, I want to be bullish, and I feel like we're on the verge of possibly turning a corner soon. All along, I've said second quarter. It's kind of looking like it could be second quarter. It just depends on, can we get some stability, right? Stability, that's what we need. All right, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget that I'm also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting and retweeting on a regular basis. Check me out there. And lastly, for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, channel that always has your back, tells it like it is, and I will see you on the next one. Later.